Welcome to Out of the Blue, number 274. We're going to talk a little more today about Sirius C. Sirius C. There's a bright star in the sky named Sirius, the dog star. And it was later discovered that it was a binary star system, Sirius A and B. And there is speculation that there is a Sirius C. And this is fiction. I am creating a fiction which may turn out to be fact. I am speculating that there is actually a Sirius C. And I am speculating that in a Swedenborgianistic sense, it is closer to us because it is more similar to our ways of thinking than Mars. Okay? So the Mars is the red planet, Sirius C is the blue planet. And this whole NASA trip to Mars is essentially a bogus distraction. Okay, Mars is bombarded by solar radiation in a way that Earth is not, and the Moon is not. Okay, so to put humans, us, on Mars is a very different sort of thing than putting humans on the Moon. The Moon is safe from these solar rays. But anyway, I digress. What I'm saying is that there is a Sirius C. This is an idealistic, artistic rendering of Sirius C. And I have here a more accurate depiction. Okay? This is kind of an idealized Sirius C. This is more an actual accurate depiction of Sirius C. Okay. So there are sparkly blue clouds on Sirius C. And this shows like an actual cloudy day with some patches of clearness. Okay. This is an idealized version where the whole sky is covered with sparkly blue clouds. And so the people, just like when we see a picture of the Earth from space, and you see the clouds, you can see the land, the clouds, and the ocean. And if you picture yourself there somewhere, you're either on a plane in the clouds, or you're on a boat on the ocean, or you're somewhere on land. But you all understand that the land is beneath the clouds, of course, right? Well, that's what's happening here, is we have sparkly blue clouds covering an essentially black planet. And that is Sirius C. So, what I was proposing was a space race. What I was proposing was an idea that comes out of Swedenborg, but I am speaking Neo-Swedenborgianistically, which means that you can look to Swedenborg as a kind of anatomy, because Swedenborg was an anatomist. It's an anatomy of the psyche, basically. So Swedenborg was also a very religious person, and he was traveling in his own psyche. And so his own psyche has a lot of religious imagery and religious ideas, and ideas that are attached directly to his time. And so, but there's still this anatomical effect of it where he describes, it's all related to the human anatomy, which prior to his whole religious stuff, he was, and what's the word? He was at the cutting edge of anatomy. He was doing real-time research in anatomy. He was a legitimate scientist during his day. Later in his life, he started having these religious experiences, and he would journey to heaven and hell, is what he said, and he wrote at length on it. And so that's what Swedenborg did. That's what Swedenborgianism is about. But this is Neo-Swedenborgianism, and so which fits under the heading of secular humanism, and it takes spiritualism and puts it inside of secular humanism. It takes and that's Neo-Swedenborgianism, because Neo-Swedenborgianism says that there is an anatomy of the psyche, and Swedenborg was traveling and describing the anatomy of the psyche. And so he has a psyche which was steeped in 1700s Lutheranism, and we have psyches that's steeped in wherever you were raised, you know. Like, I was not raised in a religious setting, but if I go up on the roof of this building, which is only 2 stories tall, I can see 3 Catholic Church steeples, okay, from the roof of this building. And but there's also a Protestant church up the street that doesn't have a steeple. So within sight of where I live, there are 4 large churches with congregations. So whether I'm religious or not doesn't matter. This is the bad news of Neo-Swedenborgianism. Whether you believe it or not, this is the setting you're in. I'm in Chicago. Chicago is Irish Catholic and Polish Catholic and Mexican Catholic and Protestant. You know, so that's just where I am. So that's affecting my psyche. And so if there's an anatomy to my psyche and you can cruise around in it, then Swedenborg acts as a kind of a roadmap. You have your own psyche, and so you're not going to really have the same connotations that he has, but the anatomy is the same. So anyway, in a Swedenborgian sense, what is similar to you is closer to you in the spirit world. Okay, so here in the physical world, Mars is much closer than Sirius C. But in the mental world, the type of intelligent creatures with an imaginative world, creatures with a symbolic self, like we have a symbolic self, I, me. Somebody says, I got my feelings hurt. And you think, well, point on your body where your feelings are. Well, that's not a part of your physical body. It's your kind of a psychic body, your emotional self, your spiritual self, your intelligent self, your sense of self, when I say I and me. So anyway, in that sense, anybody throughout the universe who has entered this world of the symbolic self, is there. And the people who are similar to you, who think similarly and behave similarly, are closer to you in the spirit world. So, what I am proposing is a space race, because I am saying that Sirius C is close to us in the spirit world. Actually, we are kind of downstream from them. So if you think downstream, where did this rock come from? Where did this rock of iron and granite called the Earth physically come from? Well, there's a motion to the matter in the galaxy, and there is also a motion to the spirit in the galaxy. So we come from Sirius C. And so the space race is between physically getting to Mars with living people, which is nowhere close to happening, versus spiritually traveling to Sirius C. Okay? Sirius C is basically a ball of iron with a cloud of with a covering of sparkly blue clouds. But the thing about the iron is that it's so close to Sirius A and B that the iron is white hot. Okay, so it's a ball of white hot iron, Sirius C, surrounded by sparkly blue clouds.